And this producer was working on my I guess my album with me. And I put in some work. I put in really hard work. And but he wanted to me. Excuse my language. And he held my music, like literally would not give me my music, okay? Because he was like, "You gonna let me eat that?" And I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "Well, you want your music."
Things of that nature. Things of that nature.
DMP switch up. Come on, tell us what you talking about.
Tony Fix. It's DMP, baby.
Things of that nature.
DMP switch up. Come on, tell us what you talking about.
I don't wanna stop, and you know we guarantee to give you what we got.
Right.
I don't wanna stop, and you know we guarantee to give you what we got.
Let's go. Left Coast Kings, and you owe it to yourself.
Hey, y'all better hold on and don't go nowhere. This shit about to get popping. Unfiltered combo.
What's going on, folks? It's Thing One, live in effect, man. Welcome to Unfiltered Convos. Today we have an amazing entrepreneur, chief editor of Tight Ropes Bleed magazine, the creator of It's a Vibe Events and Planet, and the founder of the Cellar Event Spaces and Lounge. Ladies and gentlemen, thinkers, thinksters, all that good shit. Welcome to one and only Delise Aubrey. What's happening?
Hey D, what's good?
So how you doing today?
I'm good. Today was my first day in like, I don't know, maybe 2 months to where I actually got the opportunity to just not do anything before. Well, that's a lie. I got up, rolled over, and hit the computer. But what I mean by it, I didn't feel anxious today to have to do anything.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's well needed. So we appreciate you spending your time with us today. So let's jump into this. What was the journey that led you to becoming a chief editor of your own magazine? What was that? What was that
Wow.
journey like?
Okay, so well, Dan, we telling ages now, so this
That's
goes
all right.
this goes all the way back to me loving music, and I never had any rhythm. Like you couldn't catch me trying to dance, trying to sing, because I'm always gonna be off a key. But I love music, so I was like, what can I do that I could bring music into it, and I've always been a writer. So I decided to do spoken word, and I had this spoken word CD, that I was working on called Poetry Diet. This was back in the early 2000s, and this producer was working on my I guess my album with me, and I put in some work. I put in really hard work. And but he wanted to fuck me. Excuse my language, because I was a sultry kind of spoken word artist, right? Erotic or exotic. Let's just say exotic, right? No, erotic is the right word. And he held my music, like literally would not give me my music, okay? Because he was like, "You gonna let me eat that?" And I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "Well, you want your music?" And I was like, "Yeah." So it was like a whole thing. And I remember being in my room in Jersey, being so pissed off, looking at, was it Hustle? What's that movie, Hustle and Flow?
Yeah, Hustle and Flow.
Yeah. And, tears come down my eyes. And I was like, you know what? Nobody will ever have control over my shit ever again. So, and that's when I sat there and I was like, what can I do, that I can do on my own? And that's how I started. I was one of the first people who started online entities, as in a magazine, during the MySpace era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pioneer.
That's how you
Well,
do it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, that's and it's crazy because that's just how the music industry goes sometimes. You got cats out there that are just, man, they got other agendas besides actual music and artistry, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it gives the ones that are out there really trying to, put themselves and the artists out there, right? It gives them a bad name. That's sad that you had to go through that shit. At least you wasn't in it at a Diddy party. So that's a good thing, right? we don't know what would have happened, right? Shit.
oh yeah, thank God.
Yeah, I'm throwing shots at him. Fuck him. No one cares. Shit.
Right. And I just want to add something to that because I'm heavy into music, and that's a bad stigma that follows, because when we do come across, attractive, young, talent, the first thing is that's what comes up, and we got to always break that barrier and let them know, like, no, when working with us, it's all professional. Like, that's not what we're chasing. We don't have the groupie studio sessions. It's all about the music, and I'm sorry to hear that. But I also want to put out there that not all of us are like that.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, that is a big plague in the industry. So young talent out there, be careful. Do what she did, and find your own route. Believe in yourself and don't put the shit out. Let them get your music back, do what you do, or just part ways from it and go your own route. So just a tidbit. Pioneering, how did you even see the opportunity? What was an identifying mark for you to say, hey, you know what, this is a space that I want to go ahead and start creating and endeavor into?
I mean, honestly, I remember I got a Mac laptop for my birthday, and I was just like, you know what can I do with this Mac laptop, that I could bring in my own my own creative talent that I didn't need anyone else with. And a magazine just came into my mind. God was like, magazine. So I was telling all my friends back in the days, I was like, I'm going to start me a magazine. And they were like, how you going to do that? Ha, 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 ha. Right? So.
Yeah, because we from the hood and don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody never showed us that you can go out there and get it without slinging dope and some other dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I found myself on MySpace, going around and asking, people that I knew had like big followings if they wanted to be a part of the magazine. And at that time, it didn't even have a cover. It was just like, I believe Tiffany Haddish was one of those people. I'm not gonna lie. She was one of the coolest people but I just never got the opportunity to put her on. And I legitimately was just making these like different profiles on a website. And then one day I met this girl, and she was from New York, and I was in Cali by then. And she was like, yo, I'm about to put you on a whole different level. Let's just do this cover, right? She introduced me to this photographer. He was dope. And we launched her on the first cover with a silver dress, rope in her, a silver belt in her, like hanging from her mouth or something like that. And that was my first cover. And when I tell you it was so dope, now the people that told me no, everybody was circling back and telling me yes, and they were coming to me, how can I be in your cover? Christian Keys was I believe my second cover. And does everyone know who Christian Keys is?
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. So he was my second cover, and then it just kept going from there. And getting bigger. It got bigger than me. It got bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Awesome. That's good. See, that's good. Man, believing in yourself and notifying or identifying, I should say, those no's and belief turned into yeses, and now they double back and look, knocking at the door. That's how it goes, man. You listen to a lot of people's stories and success routes. The same people that, like you said, was telling them no on the way up, now that you're there, is coming back and they got offers or they got different ventures, for you and want to work with you. So just stay believing in yourself, man. Everything starts from a vision. And if you believe in your vision and you find the right support, that's one thing I would like to get into you about as well, is like the support along that journey. Like, was it just solely yourself? I mean, I know you had that somebody that you fueled you, because I know there was a lot of days where you probably woke up and it was just like, this is too much.
I mean, honestly, number one, support comes from God above, because when you're starting something, hardly anyone believes in you. I remember I asked my uncle to borrow $500 so I can get this, this story popping. He gonna
Right.
sit down. He had the money. He gonna sit down and be like, well. So finally, and none of my cousins, nobody, nobody, everybody was like, yeah. But you got to show people, and I thank people down to that producer who always made me go the hard way. I thank them for that, because it gave me a spirit of I'm not giving up, and I believe in me, and I don't give a fuck about what you say, and what you say I'm going to show you. I build it and they will come. So,
Right.
My support to begin with came from me, and God above. But then after, once it's built, right, support
Right.
starts to come in different ways, so basically I started in New York, New Jersey, performing at Nuyorican, and on stage with comedians like Marshall Brandon, who's touring with David Chappelle right now, Will Sylvince, even though he won't take credit for it, but he put me on to a lot of people back in those days who were he just put me on the scene, basically, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I would come to LA, and Will would introduce me to, a comedian or two. And everywhere I went, I had a camera on me, So you would see me going to these different clubs, and I'm sitting outside, me and David Chappelle, we talking, this is when he came back to the scene, and he was playing like these really intimate, spaces. And then, he put me on to Zainab Johnson. She's on the show right now called Upload, right?
Okay.
And Zainab, and I forgot her boyfriend at the time, but he was actually on a reality show. Kedar, I think his name was Kedar. And they actually, helped me with interviews, and, and they, believed in the magazine. Like, I remember Kedar and Zainab going to a high school, being on a radio show with me at that time. And, really helping me, push the early stages of the magazine. So I always, give enough big ups to Will Sylvan, Zainab Johnson, and Kedar, because that just belief in me of, wanting to be a part of that thing that I was doing, goes a long way. And
having a support group.
Yeah, Neiman Tate, by the way, he was my stylist back then, and he's still my stylist now. He's an amazing stylist. When you see a lot of people on the cover, it's either Neiman Tate or my sister Delise'ana Fashion Designs. So big ups to all those people.
What's up?
Yeah.
We might have to reach out to them, see what's going down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what's up. So, how long has the magazine been in effect?
Oh my gosh. The early, like I said, 2000. I think I came on board around 2009, I want to say. That's without the cover. And so the magazine has been around. God damn, I'm old. God damn. But yeah, I launched it, and it was around for a couple of years, right? And then when I went to New York and launched Bleed with it, because I went to New York and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing good. So Tightrope magazine will be on LA, and Bleed magazine, that's Bleed for Your Art, will be the New York version of it. But when I did that, I put someone else in charge of becoming the editor-in-chief, Yolanda Ketchum. And at that time, she was very motivated, very talented, but I feel like I left a little too early. And I had to give, the magazine a break, because life happened. And people were asking me, when am I bringing it back during the downtime? And eventually I moved back to California, brought the magazine back, I've had amazing people on the cover. I've had Robin Givens on the cover. I've had John B on the cover. I've had, Tiffany Pollard on the cover. I mean, the list goes on. Joe Torre was on the cover, too. There's been so many people. Oh my gosh, come on, Loving Basketball. What's my girl's name?
That's my daughter's favorite movie too.
Oh my
Sanaa
gosh.
Sanaa
No,
Lathan?
not Sanaya. The young oh my gosh.
Oh,
Kyla Pratt.
Liam Pratt. Yeah.
Kyla Pratt, you
Yeah,
know.
Kyla
So
Pratt. Yeah.
I just wanted to give, Kyla, a special shout out because out of all the people I've interviewed, oh my gosh, she was one of the realest, and so was Kyla Pratt was very, very, very real and funny and sweet. There were a lot of other people like that, but then there's been a lot of other people that were, why am I talking to you again? Yeah, y'all haven't even reached anywhere, and you acted real funny, real C-list.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So I was gonna ask that. You kind of answered that question, like how is it like interviewing different people? Because some people think they bigger than what they are, or you know what I'm saying, or like they too good to be showing up. They just showing up because someone told them to, and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's good that you got. I guess the authentic ones stand out just as much as the ones that are assholes, I guess, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got your, you got the good and the bad with that, because you can always just. Who's the worst person you had, like, an interview? Like, they were just, you could say names. I'm like, we ain't tripping. Unless you don't want to. I'm just saying, who's the worst? You would like?
I can't really say worse, but, because everyone that we've ever interviewed, when we're interviewing, they're pretty cool, right? But Michelle A, was a really awesome interview. But when it comes to, like, for instance, when Ron G was coming up, right? Anyone know comedian Ron G? Yeah. So Ron G had a manager at that time, right? And it wasn't even Ron G; it was his manager. She came into my place of business, which I had the studio for Tightrope magazine back then, and like barking orders. This is my whole thing is we do this. The photographer knows what they're doing, the stylist knows what we're doing, and when people come inside someone else's entity and starts to bark orders like that, like it's they shit, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? Whose house are you in? I do understand that we're shooting somebody, but we're shooting them to give them, to like push them out in the spotlight. So I feel like people, get real big headed, and it's insane. I remember this young lady that worked for the magazine at the time. I've had people who've lost me covered, definitely. We were supposed to shoot Kevin Hart. And the reason why I bring this up, because I want people to understand, like, when you are an entrepreneur and when you're starting a business, you have to be on your shit always. You have to be proud, and you have to carry yourself like, this is your world, basically. So she reached out to Kevin Hart's people, and he was down to shoot for the magazine. And, she told me that she had everything together, and I never should have let someone who wasn't me, be in charge of something, because, at that time, Kevin Hart was coming up. He wasn't as big yet, but he was getting there, right? So it was a pretty big deal to shoot Kevin Hart for your cover. She dropped the ball. When she told Kevin Hart's people that basically, she sent him the oh gosh, what's it called when you're pulling something? I have come on, help me out, y'all. I have brain fog. When you're sending someone, let's say an overview. And in the styling part of it, there is a regular white t-shirt. And his people was like, what? A regular white t-shirt? So, that wasn't even the Tightrope magazine brand at that time. So basically they were like, you know what, let's reschedule the shoot. And I got busy and the magazine got busy, so we never got the opportunity to reschedule with Kevin Hart. But but it is what it is. People have to take their craft seriously, and that's what I'm trying to say. And when someone gives you an opportunity, don't drop the ball.
Yep. So all you young folks out there and older ones too, take heed. You know what I'm saying? Show some pride in what you do, because you, especially if you representing somebody else, you can't be on board with him and you ain't gonna rep him right. You know what I mean? Come on, it's bigger than you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That part.
You also got to think that what you do, word of mouth starts to spread, especially in these industries that are tight knit, music, entertainment, and the last thing you want is a negative connotation attached to that when they're talking about your brand. So just keep that in mind. Good tidbits moving forward on anybody that's trying to start and go in their own direction. You gotta own it. You gotta respect it. You gotta have dignity with it. It has to have a good, basically a good mantra and an aura when people talk about your brand. So keep that in the back of your mind, y'all. Now, I do got a question, because your magazine, what does your magazine entail? I know we jumped in, we started talking about it. Like you said, you wanted to start something that incorporated music, but what is your target audience? What is your focus on the magazine itself?
So at that time, and I feel like still now, I was promoting up-and-coming celebrities and up-and-coming entrepreneurs. So, and honestly, but I still do that up to this day with everything that I do, whether it's the magazine, whether it's the vibe, whether it's the spaces, I always incorporate some type of artistry to it and some type of uplift to it. Everything I do was meant to uplift, our talent, our arts. But Tightrope just had that edge to it, So a lot of people thought it was a fashion magazine. And in a way, I guess it was too, because, we were highlighting everything. We highlighted music, comedians, actors, and fashion. So anything that uplifted the arts field.
Nice.
Yeah, that's dope. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, deal with some things, and we're going to come back in a sec.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're going to be landing shortly. Weather is 73 degrees and clear skies.
All right, we need to break the show right now.
The dark has gone mad. Today was a good day.
Breathing in a ray of sunshine, good times, I'm in a positive mood. Releasing everything negative that's trying to ruin my groove. Some music to take the stress away. I need an escape. Gotta protect my sanity. Take a step back from reality. I'm a vibe. I'm on fire. I'ma dance till midnight, a party till sunrise. That's all I want. That's what I'm craving. Good vibes all around. At peace with myself, yeah. I can't stop moving. I won't stop moving. I love this feeling, serenity. I can't stop moving. I won't stop moving. I love this feeling, serenity. Summertime on the island, it's amazing, oh yeah. No other place I'd rather be. I'm loving it. This is magic. I'm alive in this space. I'm getting wasted, yeah. Living my tomorrow today. Don't wanna be reminded of my problems. I can't solve them now. I just wanna be one with the ocean, with the great outdoors. Peace of mind. I'm alone in my zone. Need some time. I can't stop moving. I won't stop moving. I love this feeling.
So, Delise, when did you start It's a Vibe? What led you to that part of your your entrepreneurship?
So the magazine was down for a while. And I was trying to find a way. I told myself I was not going to bring it back until I had like real support, because a lot of those things, yes, I had writers, yes, I had people, makeup artists and people coming in. A lot of those people, were coming in from a learning point of view. So some people, like Constance Foe, wouldn't charge me like a full rate or whatnot. So I do appreciate that. Shout out to, Constance Foe too, as well. But, it's when things get expensive, and when you're the writer and you're the editor, and you're like, literally, I put that whole website together, and when you're the person bringing in the talents and you're doing like a job of, about 15 people, it gets crazy. So I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I took a break again with the magazine, and but I was trying to find a way to bring it back, but I wasn't ready to bring it back. So I decided to bring the magazine to the stage. So I pulled things out of the magazine, like Music is Life, and poetry and comedy, and I put it to the stage. So I created a platform. Once again, there goes the haters and the doubters. I had this loft in downtown, and I toured it, and it was like just an empty space. And in my mind, I wasn't there to live in it. I was there to create something out of it, right? And I legitimately created a whole speakeasy in that space. A stage was built, seating was built in, curtains went up, microphones went up, lighting went up, and a whole speakeasy was built within that unit. And I decided to call it It's the Vibe. And when I tell you, when I was building it, nobody wanted to come help build that shit, though.
Oh, I bet.
I had to build that shit. I had to put in some money. I had to, I had to be like, okay, who's coming? And legitimately, I did like a, what do you call it? Karaoke night, right? And, some people came to drink, came to do this. I put out that video, and it was a wrap. Then I did my first showcase, and, we had 3 singers, a rapper. Joe Show once again flew out from Brooklyn to host. Yep. And we had a spoken word artist, and lucky for me, I had incredible talent such as John Coleman. When John Coleman hit the stage, everybody stood up and jammed. I mean, when I tell you that space was, I think it was 716 square footage or less, that space was crowded like a juke joint. Niggas was up in there sweating and shit, niggas standing next to the bathroom, next to the kitchen bar, those islands. But everybody had a good time. So It's a Vibe was born, and I've been doing it. It's a Vibe ever since. And obviously I've grown up and, gotten a true speakeasy inside Saga Studios Barbershop. Big out to Saga Studios on 116, 116 East 6th Street. So the speakeasy launched through Saga Studios, which is a true juke joint with a secret door and everything. And that's the home of It's a Vibe right now.
Nice. That is dope. Man, congratulations to all of that.
Yeah.
You're very passionate about what you do, and I like to hear that, because once again, if it starts with you, it makes everybody else to believe, especially off of your passion. So I know if you haven't already heard, you got a lot of success coming. So definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we hope and pray so.
Straight from Pomona too.
Lights out.
Yeah.
Pomona.
Stand up.
909 since it was 714, man. Repping it. Yeah.
To the 10.
You already know. What do you got going on right now? What's your
Everything.
everything?
Everything got going on right now. Everything. This is the year that I was like, you know what? This is going to be my empowerment year, but not to the point to where I'm just empowering myself, but where I'm trying to create platforms to empower others as well. So, which brings me to that third thing that I do, right? Which is the Cellar event spaces, and one of them is incorporated inside that speakeasy, and then I have another space in downtown called the Living Room. And honestly, it's a little bit more, it's all these things are small, intimate spaces, because I feel like I have a niche in small, intimate spaces to where I look at a space that's small and I'd be like, I can fuck this space up. I'm about to do this, and this to it, right? So, and so we have that right now. And the reason why this space is special is because I call it a business within a business. So, it allows other people who can't afford it to bring their business within that space without it, because it's different formulas to what I can offer people. But I wanted to really say that the point of entrepreneurship, at least this is my point of it, and I feel like we should look at this as a whole, is to create opportunities for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That is the point of entrepreneurship. You are building community and you're creating opportunities for other people because you're able to give people a space, you're able to give people a job, able to give people a platform. That is the trueness of entrepreneurship. And by doing so, this is how you grow.
Right.
By growing others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we here. That's why we doing this. That's why we have things of that nature.
That was our conversation. Exactly. That what got started. I mean, just with the different talents that we know around us, the different individuals, and how can we create something to bring it all together? It sounds pretty similar. Just all you can do is just put the energy behind it and just watch it grow. So definitely, it's something intriguing to hear, and I'm sure others out there can also take information and what they hear and put it into the perspective of their own lives and views and go from there, man. Just shoot for the moon.
Yeah. I think people don't get how important networking is. Like, you know what I mean? They really don't. Like you can be successful if you network properly. Or you're not afraid to network. You just gotta show up to places. Hey,
that part. Well, I can tell you this, if Southern University ain't teach me shit else with that 4 years of wasting my daddy's money, they taught me how to network, honey. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's very important. I mean, very important. You got to rub elbows. Like I was always told that a lot of deals are done on the golf course, and that's just by just networking and rubbing elbows. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those situations where you learn it's not always in a business type setting. It's not always formal. You got to be able to articulate. You got to be able to network different places, like Dee was saying, showing out, put it all into perspective. So, I mean, it's time that we're talking about. Networking takes time. And a lot of people are very fickle on their time. So, make it worthwhile.
Yeah, and take the fear out of it. Take the fear out of it. They're only people.
Yeah.
Right.
And you gotta like you said, you gotta be confident. You gotta be confident. Regardless, hey, if you're good at it, talk your shit, and there's somebody to prove you otherwise. Like, that's how I get down. Like, you can cook, yeah. Oh, you ain't that good. Okay, whatever.
Right.
I was like, we can have a competition, blind tasting. I ain't tripping. Like, I get down. You know what I mean? So, dude just looked at me. I'm like, all right, bro. And when he got that sample, he was like, oh, my bad. That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. You still want to put some money on it? Nah, he said, we good. He said, we good. He was like, we good. Yeah.
Right. Well, Delise, it's going to be, we've been talking a lot about the professional side, but how do you have this all intertwined into your personal life? Like I know that you said today you woke up, you didn't have the anxiety of doing this, doing that. and it sounds like you're just a very, very busy person. So how do you incorporate this to have a balance in your personal life? Like, do you have children? Are you married? Like, is there a balance there?
Well, thank God my son is, he just turned 18. He's graduating in 2 weeks. What?
Congratulations. That's what's up.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
And, it was very easy for me to do this because I knew I was a single mom. So I've kind of raised my son to be very self-sufficient. And because I go between Chino and downtown, I have 2 homes. And so I just honestly, I try to preach entrepreneurship to him and try to incorporate these things that I do with him or to him. That way he becomes a part of what I'm doing as well. So I get to cheat and, be there when he's coming to help with something or coming to help with an event or, when I'm coming home, I use my time wisely. Like we have to eat. So the way we bond together is that we cook together, you know what I'm saying? Or, or we have to work out. We work out together, So that's how I try to incorporate these things, with what I'm doing. He's doing his own thing now. So it makes it a lot easier for me right now because he's a whole teenager with a Mustang and he's all over the place. I'll be like, can I make an appointment to see that?
Yeah. I make an appointment with you.
That part. Like, come on. Yep. So, I just feel like whatever generation is coming up now, that we are in a whole different generation where things are done differently. We have to teach our children. First of all, we have to give them a platform to where they can be successful. We have to set the bar to say, you know what? This is where we're at, then, you got to do better. So there's been times where I remember when Devin was first born and I was like, oh my God, should I buy Pampers or should I buy gas? Which one? Right? So, and obviously, I'm not in that position anymore, but there's been times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, because we all know that the rent is not cheap in California, right?
Man, yeah.
Okay.
I live in the woods in this high as
exactly.
Right? Yeah. And I've had people tell me, well, Delise, you don't have to live in this Chino Hills, townhome. Why don't you try to get something cheaper? Now, bitch, why don't you try to get something cheaper? Why should I try to get something cheaper and put my son in the hood or put him somewhere else? No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the bar, okay? I'm going to bust my ass and I'm going to make these sacrifices. So was it hard trying to stay up in here? Yes, it was hard trying to stay up in here. But guess what? Not only did the rent go up, but my mindset went up. My money went up because I didn't go down.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got to teach our kids, don't go down. Find a way to get to where you need to be.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You got to hustle. You got to hustle hardest, not hustle hard, but you got to hustle hardest. It don't, and you can't worry about what the next person doing because they ain't worried about you. You know what I mean? They not worried about what you doing. They trying to get where they going.
And what a lot of people fail to hear or see, I should say, until they get good conversation with somebody or a nice interview, is they only see the successful part. What she just said prior to that, you just heard all the successful things, but she said it was hard. She said what she had to make sacrifices. She had to make a vision for herself. And, other people that do that and come out of these dark spots in their life or in their past, and they become successful. And it's not just on a monetary aspect. It's gauged in many different ways. And, that's a common theme that I like hearing with a lot of our guests is the adversities that they overcome and the resiliencies, man, especially, like her single parent, and she's came out of that. She kept her son away from, the peer pressures of life out there, especially in California and Southern California. So it's one of those situations where it's just, man, it's great to hear and salute. And I love seeing and hearing these stories and a testament. So once again, thank you for blessing us with some of your time that you have in your day.
No problem, y'all. It was my pleasure.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do you have any, how do they contact you? How does someone contact you if they want to rent space?
We have the space has an Instagram, so you can always follow the Cellar, DTLA on Instagram, and that's the Cellar with a C, CELLAR. So the Cellar, DTLA. People can usually hit us up on Instagram, and I believe the spaces have a peer space too.
Okay, we'll make sure we'll get all that info and make sure we put it down in the description.
Always check the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the magazine, you know, it's Bleed on Instagram as well, BLEED, and then for your art, the number 4, your art.
Right. Now, do you take like as far as submissions, people to contact you, say, hey, here's some music for your magazine, or here contact me available if you have any spaces for one of your events? Like, do you take just submissions that way, or are you just looking, and once you get leads, then you follow up with trying to get those individuals or talents?
So for the magazine, I scout out people that I want to put on the cover because, you know, it has to be mutually beneficial, because I'm putting money out to put someone out in a sense, right? So I've learned from the past, like I go off of energy. So someone, if they're big and they got a nasty attitude, I don't really want to mess with them, you know, because it's my money going into putting you on a cover. So,
Right.
yeah. So if they have like, you know, like Kirby Howard Baptiste, wonderful individual. That was money well spent, you know?
Right.
She's in everything, by the way, y'all. Like you look up Kirby Howard Baptiste, you be like, who is her agent? She is in everything, you know? So I kind of scout out people, but I've had people who inquire to be in the magazine, and sometimes I have to tell people, you know, get your status up before I can shoot you. It doesn't mean that I'm not, but you know, get your status up a little bit more, because I prefer to shoot people who are serious about their craft. Like I see them grinding hard on their craft, you know, and their numbers, because, you know, like I said, this is an investment for me that's going to pivot out. So I want to make sure that their numbers are at a decent space, not all the time. And then people can always pay for advertisement. You know, they could have a slot. They can pay to be in the cover if they're doing something good enough. You know, if they're not there yet, but they're almost there. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very nice. And we'll get all that information from you so we can, like I said, add in the description as well. So that way, always, you know, it's always going to be in there. So definitely.
I always feel like when there's an interview, you're like, God damn it, there's so much to say, especially when you're doing a lot, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
You know, I can't get it all out, but hopefully I got, you know, the good enough stuff out, you know?
Oh, no, this was a good conversation.
Right. And the great thing about that is you always have the platform to come back if you have something. If you're, you know, say, hey, you know what, I want this to be blasted out there. Let us know. Send it to us. We can also place it and, you know, help with our community forums as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Man, this was a great conversation. And once again, I appreciate you taking time out your busy life to come holler at one of your homies. So it was a pleasure. I wish we could have saw your face, but I understand. Shit happens. But yeah, but we gonna wrap this up for Unfiltered Convos, man. This was dope. And you always welcome to come back anytime, talk about anything, real talk. And I do mean anything. We're game for anything. We always especially to have a female perspective. I'm Thing 1.
I'm Thing 2. Salute everything that you're doing. Thank you for your time. And if you have any last words or any special shout outs, you can repeat the people that you said. If you want to give them another shout out, but the floor is yours.
Lord have mercy. I am getting old, so I'm going to shout out Will Sylvans, Joe Show, my road dog. Thank you for always flying out from Brooklyn to host the show. I want to shout out Zaynab Johnson. You know, I want to shout out delise'ana fashion designer and Neiman Tate for all that they've done for the help of the magazine.
The show. Y'all come on the show. Fuck with us. Real talk.
Well, y'all, and I want to shout out my mama, because none of this would be possible without my mama.
There you go. That's right. All the mamas stand up. Yeah.
Stand tall.
we gonna wrap it up, man. This was good. We're gonna bring you back for sure. Sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner than later. That's a guarantee. Until then, man, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Mm-hmm. Take it easy.
West.
Oh yeah, that's how you do it right there, man. Sister, stand up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That I want to touch on though. I just want to say this, bro. You see how her grind was. You see how she was able to go ahead and do it her way, bro. You hear a lot of times that people do things, especially in this era where we got all of these Epsteins and Steins and Diddies and Witties and all of them niggas that do it their way. And she was like, nope, I'm still doing it her way. So side out, man. Salute.
Yeah.
Anybody puts their own foot in front of the other and know the value of their own work, man. That's real talk.
Right. That's right. Another one, Brand in Pomona. 909, baby, from the 60 to the 10. Man. You already know.
Right. Hey, nice though, bro. We need to go ahead and holler at her on some of that event planning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mansions. And then also, bro, y'all gonna see some more of her. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Yep. That's a for sure, man. Yeah. But shit, I think that's gonna wrap it up for another great episode of Things of That Nature. You know, Unfiltered Convos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit, until the next one, y'all. I'm Thing 2, Doc Madness, better known as Madman Smooth. Shit.
Thing 1, Chef D, Left Coast Kings. Man, we out.
Things of that nature. Things of that nature.
Okay, Things of That Nature, fam. If you like what you heard, I need you to share, like, and subscribe.